Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably recognized from the thumbnail for this video that this is one of my developing series called Spreads, Spreads, and More Spreads. And friends, have I got a spread for you. And you may already know that I have developed 3 spreads from the Tarot of the Holy Light by the beautiful, brilliant Christine Payne-Towler. Yeah, I've done one. The first one that I did actually was from the Ace of Swords, which was was recommended to me by the creator of the deck, by Christine Payne-Towler. She said I might think of developing a spread from that card. And I did, and I loved it. And so I went on and I developed a spread from the Ace of Coins, the Ace of Discs, and that went well. And then I did a spread that was very, very loosely based on the Ace of Cups, because the Ace of Cups reminded me of the Tree of Life. So I did a Tree of Life spread. This time I'm going back to basics, and I'm developed a spread. This is what the back of the deck looks like. A spread from this card. So what are we going to do? I'm going to turn the camera down, and in that space, I'm going to show you first the card, a little bit up close and personal, the image from the card, and then I'm going to show you the spread as I've laid it out, and then we're going to walk through the spread together. I'm going to be using a very small deck, so I need a small deck because this is a kind of tall spread, and so to show you well, I'm going to use my Morgan-Greer in a tin. So I'll use that to walk you through a sample reading of the spread, and let's have fun with this together. Here we go. Friends, this is what I have for us. Starting from the left, this is the tin that my Morgan-Greer in a tin lives in. Yeah, it's pretty beaten up, right? That's not because it's unloved or uncared for. It's because this lives in my backpack when I ride my bicycle to and from work every day, through the rain, through the sun, through the humid, through the cold, and it bounces around and bangs around, and I love it dearly, and it's shown signs of wear, right? But I love it because it's one, small, and it can take a beating. So there we are. That's my tin for the Morgan-Greer, and it is off camera. Here I have the deck we're going to use, the Morgan-Greer in a tin. And yes, we need this teeny tiny deck because this is a tall spread. I've tended to like tall spreads these days, which don't really work well on modern cameras and technology, but that's what we're going with. So we'll be using this deck in just a moment. And here's the card that I showed you, this image, right? And so I'll take this card away so we can see what I've prepared for us to look at briefly. Yeah, this is the image I showed you, and I hope you can see how this spread relates to this image. We have the radiant light of the divine beaming into the Ace of Wands. Yeah, and that disc is represented by these 4 cards here. And then you see this plant growing up here, right? That plant is represented by these 3 cards here. And then we have this hand coming in. Generally, we think of this as the hand of the divine, a hand of spirit, but this is going to be our hand. And that hand and arm are represented by these 3 cards here. Now, these 2 at the bottom that are in a different color are generally places for, well, they represent the fire. And they are oracle card spots, which I don't think I will be using an oracle deck for these because I don't have a really teeny tiny oracle deck available to me right now. So I'm going to use cards from the tarot deck for all of these spots today. But when I read this spread for my weekly videos, there will be one tarot deck for this, one tarot deck for this, one tarot deck for this, and one oracle deck for this. But today we're just walking through the spread. And I think you'll be able to see that even these two coming from the same tarot deck will be fine if you don't want to use an oracle deck. So, what are the significances? This group of four. Now, usually a lot of RWS, Smith-Waite based readers tend to think of one card, one question. And I used to do that too, but I've started to enjoy and have gotten good progress reading with cards without one question for one spot. So instead, I've got a group of cards that give us a certain kind of information, right? Card number 1 through 4 is the divine light shining into our current situation. And it could be shining into, that light is shining through the filter of our perception, right? So though the divine light is pure and it's love and it's joy and it's gratitude and it's creative and it's well-being and it's pure awareness and all of that wonderful stuff, it comes through our filter, it comes through the filter of perhaps our astrological charts as well. And the way that we think, our way of perceiving, the windows of our perception. And so all of that colors what this light reveals to us. Does that make sense? So this is the light of the divine shining into the situation through our filters. And then these three cards here, 5, 6, and 7, that is what's growing in that light. And what is growing in that light is also affected by our perception, by our filters. And then these cards, 8, 9, and 10, are how we can grasp or take a hold of what is growing in this spot. That makes sense, right? How we can get a hold of it, how we can attain it perhaps, or how we can stabilize it, or whatever grasping means in this particular reading, we can read it in that way. For example, have you heard people giving readings with energy challenge advice or situation challenge advice? That challenge card can be positive or negative, right? It could be a challenge in the sense of something that's difficult, something that is standing in our way, something that is confronting. Or it could be a challenge as something that we want to attain, something that we want to reach, like the challenge of climbing a mountain or the challenge of succeeding at a new venture. Those things are challenging too, right? They're not blockages, but they're things we're reaching for, we're trying to attain. So in the same way, grasping can mean different things. It could be grasping so hard we won't let go. It could be grasping so that we can achieve or we can receive whatever gift is being offered. It could be the grasping of keeping it in place, or maybe even grasping to push away. So there are several ways that grasping idea can be understood. And then at the bottom, we've got these two cards which will give us advice for what we can do or how we can proceed with the message of this entire spread. That makes sense, I think, right? So now I'm going to do a general read for me and us. And let's see, let me move this out of the way. I'll put it just off camera so that I can see it, just in case I want to refer to it. I don't think I'll need to refer to it. It's not that hard of a spread. What are we going to read? What am I going to read for? How is my path unfolding in this coming week? How is my path unfolding in this coming week? That's what we're going to do. So, how is Derek's path? Let's do a collective. How is our path unfolding in the coming week? So you get to join in on this. Yeah? How is our path unfolding in the coming week? 1, 2, 3. If you want to skip over the shuffling, feel free. I just want this to be a real reading and real shuffling, and this is my way of shuffling. How is our path unfolding in the coming week? How is our path unfolding in the coming week? Love the way this deck shuffles. Even though it's a really small deck and I have large hands, it shuffles so easily. Even bridges for me. How is this week unfolding? How is our path unfolding in the coming week? How is our path unfolding in the coming week? We'll see what the divine light is revealing, what is growing in that light, how we can grasp what is growing. Grasp can also mean understand, right? Can you grasp the meaning of this situation? How can we grasp? And some advice. How is our path unfolding in the coming week? I'm going to lay these face up, just so you know. How is our path unfolding in the coming week? What is the light revealing? What is the light showing? What is growing in that light? How can we grasp what is growing in that light? And what's some advice? Here we go. Okay, so cut the cards. Tell me, Magic Morgan-Greer. Let's see what's going. Oh, love this. One of my favorite cards. I'm just saying, this is one of my favorite cards. 7 of Coins, 7 of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, cool. And the 4 of Swords. And the 6 of Swords. Interesting. So, coins on top, swords on the bottom. And then we go, what's growing in this light? 1. Oh, love this card too. Page of Cups. Temperance, another cuppy card to me. And the Ace of Swords. Okay, some more swords going on. We're just missing some wands in this Ace of Wands spread. And so how can we grasp or take hold of what is growing? 1. Ooh, the Moon. 2. The King of Cups. 3. It's okay. Interesting. And what's some advice? Hopefully this is all on camera. Oh, another one of my favorite. Where are the wands? Here we go. Here's a wand. Thank goodness. I was starting to get worried. Okay, we got a page. So we got a bunch of stuff on this table, right? What do we see right off the bat? Well, we've got a plethora of swords and coins. We got 3 coins, 1, 2, 3 swords, 2 cups, both of them court cards, 1, 2, 3 major arcana. The only thing that could be a little bit missing, I mean, that's a little bit on the, not lacking side, but is a little bit on the weaker side in this reading, is the wands in this Ace of Wands spread, which is interesting. Yeah? And temperance, to me, I know that temperance is often associated with other zodiacal signs, but for me, and the symbol on the chest of temperance is fire. But there's so much water in the temperance card, and the temperance figure is holding cups. And I think of the liquid aspect of alchemy when I think of temperance. Like tempering wine, of course. So for me, there's a strong emotional, cuppish attribute to this card. Personally, for me, just saying. Okay, so let's get into the reading. Two figures are facing away from each other, which is interesting. So they don't seem to be in really good accord. There's some discord in the queen who wants to perhaps both enjoy what the queen has and share, nurture, nourish those around him, her, or them. But there's also the sense that there's a I want to say a little bit of a dissatisfaction with the need to wait for things to happen, right? The seven of coins, of pentacles, is the waiting for the harvest, the waiting for the right time, waiting for things to mature. And she might be he, or I'm going to say she, but in the forefront of all of our minds is the truth that whether we are male presenting, female presenting, trans, cis, in transition, other sex, whatever, we are all of the genders in one. Now, it's beyond non-binary, it's beyond non-gendered, it's all gendered. And so we are all queens, we are all kings, we're all pages, we're all knights, no matter what our genitalia or the way we present ourselves in the world seems to demonstrate to others. Does that make sense? So, this Queen of Pentacles is the one who wants to flow the resources that she has access to onto others. She's the water of earth, right? She flows the earth resources out to those around and wants to be sure that those around her are as well cared for as possible as she cares for herself and her people. But then right behind her, which could be in either a space of irritation or it could be just something that's backing her up. That is another possibility here. That this need for waiting, for patience, for watching things as they grow and being attentive to things that are not yet ready. It could be what is behind her in the sense of that's what she's carrying with her, or it could be something that she's doesn't want to look at. And what's beneath these people are two swords, right? And fortunately, of the swords, there are perhaps the two that are the easiest of them all, except for the Ace of Swords. We got the Ace of Swords down here too. So the Four of Swords, right? Calling on us for a little bit of rest, calling on us for a little bit of healing, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of introspection. And then the Six of Swords is being ready to move on. Taking what is good, but leaving the rest behind as we move into the light. And you'll notice that the flow of this motion is into the Queen of Pentacles. So, the light that seems to be beaming on us is that desire to enjoy what we have. Maybe there's a little bit of irritation with having to wait for things to mature, but we have all the stuff that we need, and we're moving forward from a past that might have been choppy as we look into the future. And we are benefited by taking the time. You see, another way. Reading these four cards, there are different ways to approach them to give us different layers of meaning. Yeah, we've got the top layer, the conscious perhaps, and the unconscious. We can also have what's in the light and what's in the shadow, perhaps. But I don't see that here. I see that this bottom row is supporting the top row. Yeah, the Six of Swords is supporting the Seven of Pentacles. This moving forward and leaving what is behind is supporting the patience that is being called for. This card of meditation and self-healing is supporting the Queen, who is then in turn able to support those around her. Now, the diagonals are also speak to us, I think, right? The meditation and the waiting and for things to ripen and being attentive, the mindfulness of both of these cards is prominent. as well as these two cards. Yeah, moving forward as a satisfied bearer of having the resources that are enough for us and perhaps of others, and that will lead us into the future. Does that make sense? So we've got a call for patience, for meditation, for self-healing as we move forward into our Queen of Pentacles nests, our Queen of Pentacles self, who is able to both enjoy what she has. I'm a she, you're a she, we're all she's in the fullness of self. In our Queen of Pentacles aspects, we're able to enjoy what we have and care for others as well. So that is the light that's beaming in on this reading. And what is growing in that light is very interesting. And I believe I've practiced with this several times, and I believe even though I lay the cards this way, just because that's the way that makes the most sense in space, I'm going to read the cards this way. And I had that as an intention as I was laying the cards. And so we begin with a new idea, new clarity is growing in the light of this. As we're patient, as we're moving on, as we're introspective and we're healing, a new idea and a new way of communicating is bursting forth, which calls forth the benefits of temperance, of pausing, not moving forward with it yet, but tempering it, examining it, letting it flow from one part of our brain into the other, doing the alchemy of taking the new, what do we call it? The prima materia, to do the alchemy for it to become what it will become. Does that make sense? Because the Ace of Swords is the seed. It's not the fully grown, revealed thing. It's the thing that is coming into existence, that we have that first idea, but that idea is calling for attention and nurturing and growth and time even. Right? The divine hand in this light is presenting something for us. It's radiant, it's bountiful, it's royal, but it still is asking for attention and time to develop. And so this is how we could let it develop, and that makes absolute sense. And as it develops, we appraise it, we look at it with that curiosity of the Page of Cups, who is able to look into the water that's flowing from the cup to see what is emerging from both our intuition and our the love that is within us, because our love is our creative energy, if you ask me. Now, so we see what message this new idea is bringing us, and it could be a surprising one, like a fish jumping out of a wine goblet. So this is what's growing for us in the light of this. A new idea that will take nurturing, will take some alchemy and attention and curiosity for us to really appraise the message that is revealed in the light that is shining into our path in the coming week. And so how do we get a hold of it? Well, we get a hold of it by allowing ourselves to follow the path, the journey. Now, yes, this page, fools are kind of pages, right? Anyways, I pity the fool. This fool does seem to be wanting to go into the past, retrograde, right? But we do begin with this fool energy, with the innocence, the willingness to begin a new journey. And that moves, we bring that into our King of Cups selves. And our King of Cups selves is the one of emotional balance. Now, the King of Cups does this balance of temperance, of emotional balance of liquid, of intuition, of internal reflection very well. This king is a master of all of that. So this king has the ability to take the journey of the fool as well, right? And as the king takes the journey of the fool, he has an eye towards the moon. And the moon can be several things. It could be cycles. It could be lunar cycles, right? Yeah, things change. It's not the wheel of fortune change, but it's the cycle of nature, rather than the cycle of fortune. This is the cycle of nature, of things growing and then waning, waxing and waning, and then waxing and waning, those cycles. Yeah, where the king with a balanced emotional state is able to allow this crustacean to arise from the depths of the water, to reveal what is there. And that is, I think that echoes the fish jumping out of the cup, right? This crustacean moving out into the softer light of the moon before we're ready for the harsh light of the sun. So, maintaining the way we get a hold of this thing, and this is a pretty good thing that's growing in this light of the divine, shining through our own filters. The way we get a hold of this is by, one, allowing ourselves to venture into the unknown, to take the new journey of the path that's laying before us, with balanced emotions, being able to look within and see what arises, to be able to have this discovery of the Page of Cups, right? So, what is the advice for us? That's down here in the fire. We have the Nine of Pentacles and then the Page of Rods. So the Nine of Pentacles is, the advice here is to, like the Queen is able to very, very clearly, enjoy what we have now. As we're waiting for what is developing, enjoy what we have now. Yeah, we've got our grapes, we've got our falcon, we've got our clothes, we're in a comfortable enough position. Hopefully we're not necessarily in direct line of fire, and we can enjoy who we are and where we are with what we have right now. And as we do that, we can also see this wand is this thing here, right? Look at what's growing. With, again, curiosity. The Page of Cups and the Page of Rods, these are wonderful balance. So as we are seeing the growth of the Ace of Swords through Temperance to a Page of Cups, we keep the balancing fire, the balancing page of fire, as a piece of advice. This page is here telling us that, yes, we want to be curious about what's happening. Know that we don't know everything yet. Maybe we will never know everything, but we can take a hold, grasp this rod with curiosity, with, what is that called? With inspiration, to discover our inspiration. And observe and anticipate the appearance of something new from within. And that new thing may be something we already know, but it may be something entirely unexpected. Sometimes the unexpected sometimes the surprising is expected. Does that make sense? Have you ever been surprised by something and then a moment later thought, oh, I knew that was coming? There are times when the surprising is something that we were in one way or another expecting. So it could be something expected that is still a little bit surprising, or it could be completely unexpected. And we want to be willing to move on the journey of the unexpected, if that's the direction that's going to appear. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I think this is going to be an interesting week. Depending on when you're reading this, I'd love to hear from you. If it does, if you were able to allow yourself the space and the satisfaction and curiosity to allow this reading to reveal itself to you. I hope so, because this sounds really, really nice. And it's not only nice for us, it's nice for those around us, because the more satisfied, the more fed, the more inspired we feel, the more that we're able to feed others, as the Queen of Pentacles does. So we do have some challenges here, right? We have the challenge of being satisfied with what is so that the new can arrive. We have the challenge of keeping our emotional balance so that we have the space to do the alchemy, for the new thing to arrive, to appear, to show itself. As we do to do the healing, to do the mental healing work as well as we do the emotional balancing. And if we can do all of that, we got some good stuff coming, baby. I think. This looks really nice. So what do you think? Again, comment below. What do you think? What do you think of this spread? I think this is a really interesting spread. And I'm going to be using this spread this coming week for my weekly reading. So stay tuned for that. If you are still here, thank you very much. Hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel grow. It really, really does. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. I think I'm going to be going to 3 a week. I think I'm going to maintain 3 a week. Maybe it might be going down to 2 a week. We'll see. I think I'll be able to read this spread in 1 video a week. That's my plan. Comment below. Definitely comment below. If you want a reading from me using this spread, my Tree of Life spread, which I've just moved beyond, or any spread, a 3-card spread is cool too. I could do a 1-card reading if you want. It's all your choice. My email address is below. thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll get you a reading. So friends, thank you very much for coming on this journey with me and helping me explore this spread once more in a public space before I start reading with it in earnest in a couple of days. And as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.